Hello there, May Flom here, and today I am going to be taking a closer look at the Finnabair art ingredients, specifically the mica powder. Now, it is a messy powder, and what I mean by that is, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's just, you can see the shimmery iridescent, and you can see it here in the lid especially. So shimmery and iridescent and just absolutely gorgeous powder that will add color to your projects. Now, there are a number of colors. That's the pink. I also have it here in gold and copper. I'll open the copper for you. We're going to stick with the pink for projects because it really shows up well on film, but these are just so beautiful. And really what you can do with them, or at least the thing that I like to do most with them, there's two different ways of using it. The first, and by the way, you see how my fingertips are turning a little pink, so you want to be extra careful. And I like to put a napkin or a paper towel or something down where I'm working with it because it will get everywhere. So I try to keep it on here so that there are already actually little droplets of it on my tag and things. So I try to keep it really contained because I'll find it, smudge on my arm or on my next project, and I try not to do that. So what I'm doing here, I have a watermark resist ink pad. You could use a versamark pad, something of that nature. Basically, we're going to stamp our image, and this is a Finnabair stamp image, one of my favorites actually. And then what we will do, I'm actually going to use both colors just so you can see that you can blend them. What we are going to do is we are going to color this while it is still wet. This kind of ink, it does stay wet for a little bit, but you do want to work fairly quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my paintbrush in here, and it is just going to pick it up immediately. And I am going to gently tap, try not to get too much in any one spot. And then I'm going to tap this off screen here into the garbage can, just whack it a few times because I don't want to put a bunch of copper into my pot of pink powder. And then I'm going to come in with the pink and go like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap, and I'll just start in the pink areas because this has pink on it right now. And then I'll work my way out, and I can tap over here if I want to. Okay, and we're not rubbing, we're not scrubbing, just tapping. And what this does is allows the powder to really catch on that beautiful, beautiful image. And we will use our excess. Now here's the one thing though, you want to try to use just as little as you can on this kind of a image, this kind of a technique, because you really, unless you're working with only one color, if you're working with multiple colors, you really can't like save and dump this out. Well, we're going to do something with this excess though. We're going to slide it onto a different tag, and I will show you more of that in a minute. Once you've really tapped it nicely, you can then go, and I usually go in just one direction here, and gently swipe off excess. I say gently because you don't want to scrub really hard. I mean, you want the powder to stick to your image. Okay, and I'm not going to do a perfect job here, so I'm just demonstrating here to you. I'm not going to make this into a finished tag right at this moment, but you can start to see, isn't that lovely? Isn't that just so pretty? And you can make yourself a shimmery stamped image in this way. Okay, now with this excess, what I'm going to show you, another thing that you can do, two different ways actually, you can do it with paint. I tend to prefer clear mediums such as PPA art adhesive or a matte gel. Paste will work. You can definitely use it on paste. If I'm going to use it with something like paint or paste, what I tend to do is to put that down first and then sprinkle the powder over and let it absorb. What you can do with the gel medium, especially, I like the gel medium because I don't think it needs as much, or a liquid adhesive if you want, like perfect paper adhesive works really well. So I like to take this, and by the way, it's going to look a little funny because I've got I'm not working on like a slick plastic surface would work best. And also this particular gel medium, It starts when it is wet, it is white, so it doesn't, you're not seeing quite as transparent, but it would turn really transparent. You just see our coppery pink color when we're done. Or, like I said before, you could directly sprinkle a little bit onto here while it's wet. The thing about this is you really wouldn't want to move it around too much or try to soak off the excess. I wouldn't do like what I'm doing here, trying to swipe it around. It's not going to work so well. While it's wet, you really need to let it dry all the way. So if I was going to do something like that, what I would probably do is use one color and really lay it on thick. And then once dry, and I'm just going to see what happens here if I scrape this a little bit. Kind of use my little tool here to mix. Leaving it on top, I feel like you get a little more sparkle and shine once it's dry. But really, something fun to play with. I've done it, just kind of sprinkled a little bit on top of gesso while it's wet. The real key is you're going to need it to stick to something. It will on a dry surface. I could take my finger and rub it onto this dry surface kind of like chalk, and it will leave a bit of a stain, but it's just not super stunning. So I don't really see that as a way that I use this very often or that I would use this in the future. All right, well, I am back to creating projects. I hope you liked this quick little look at mica powder, this Finnabair art ingredient by Prima. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave a comment. Have any suggestions or requests for future videos, be sure to leave that as well. I'll see you next time.